Today, Mr President, I would like to bring to the House's attention a human rights advocate from Western Sahara whom I recently met when she visited our parliament. Her name is Tecber Ahmed Saleh. Tecber recently travelled to Australia and New Zealand to advocate for the recognition of Western Sahara and to highlight the plight of her refugee community. Tecber is urging the international community to remember that there are 170,000 Sahrawi refugees living in the southwestern corner of Algeria. The human rights advocate lives in the Sahrawi refugee camp in Algeria, where she was born and raised. Tecber says there is a lack of awareness around her homeland's history. Western Sahara was a Spanish colony up until 1975. When Spain withdrew from the region, a conflict followed between Moroccan and Mauritanian forces, resulting in Morocco annexing the region. The Sahrawis people that fled to Algeria established camps and have a Western Sahara government in exile. The camps are dependent upon United Nations aid to exist in brutal desert conditions. Tecber has dedicated her life to helping her people in the refugee community, working for the Ministry of Health within the camps. Tecber won a coveted scholarship to a college in Norway administered by United World Colleges. The human rights advocate's hard work and dedication saw her later gain successful entry to study biology at Westminster College in Missouri and subsequently completed her master's degree in clinical laboratory science at the Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona. Instead of relocating overseas, Tecber returned home and is putting her education and experience to use in trying to improve the lives of her people. She has conducted research into the issues caused from the high amount of iodine in the water supply, which has resulted in thyroid problems for the people in the camps. Tecber led the way in instituting a cancer register in the camps and additionally researched the long-term health consequences of eating a refugee diet. Not only does Tecber raise awareness of the welfare of her people in refugee camps and the human rights issues regarding the Sahrawi residents in the occupied territory, she travels the world to ensure that the quest for her people's independence is not forgotten. Tecber urges the international community to remember that her people await a vote for independence. A referendum was promised to the people of Western Sahara. A ceasefire in the region was negotiated in 1991 on the basis that a referendum would be coordinated by the United Nations. However, the vote has not occurred as Morocco has continued to block attempts for the referendum to take place. Tecber has stated that her grandmother devastatingly died holding the radio, thinking that the next day they would call a referendum. The Labor Party expresses deep concern for human rights in the region, and Labor urges the UN to proceed without further delay with the organisation of the referendum for self-determination and to press Morocco to implement all UN resolutions pertaining to Western Sahara. Tecber often reminds audiences around the world that her people are supported by international law. In 1975, the International Court of Justice held that the Sahrawis had the right to self-determination. Western Sahara is rich in mineral resources, particularly phosphate, and Morocco has been exploiting these natural resources. In December 2016 and February and July 2018, the EU Court of Justice affirmed that Morocco has no sovereignty over Western Sahara and its maritime space. Since 2017, Australian companies have rightfully refused to import the phosphate, and Tecber is advocating for New Zealand and other nations around the world to do the same and stop the illegal trade. The Labor Party has justly called on the Australian government to extend all due assistance to the UN in its endeavours in pursuit of an enduring political solution. The UN needs to provide for the self-determination of the people of Western Sahara in an approach that is aligned with the Charter of the United Nations and to sustain a continued dialogue with the Polisario Front as the representative of the people of Western Sahara. I would like to thank the Australian Western Sahara Association and my good friend Paul Reid from the United Services Union for ensuring that I heard Tecber's story and for continuing to raise awareness about the Sahrawi people.
Reverend